The town that erased people. They called it a quiet town. The kind of place where nothing ever happened. No riots, no gang wars, no headlines, just trees, fog, and a single highway that passed through without stopping. But over a period of 14 years, 9 people vanished from this town. Not ran away, not abducted in public, not found dead. They simply ceased to exist. And what made this case different was not how they disappeared. It was who refused to look for them. The town of Ravenport sat near the edge of a protected forest zone in the northern United States. Population just under 8,000, 1 police station, 1 hospital, 1 waste processing facility, and a local council that hadn't changed in decades. Most residents worked in either forestry contracts, waste management logistics, or municipal services. It was stable, predictable, until the first man disappeared. Evan Holloway was 39 years old, a road maintenance supervisor, married, 1 daughter. On a Thursday morning in early October, Evan left his house at 6:20 a.m., just like he had for 12 years. His truck was later found parked neatly beside a service road. Engine cold, phone inside, lunch still packed. There were no signs of a struggle. The official report stated he likely wandered into the forest and succumbed to exposure. Case closed in 6 weeks. 2 years later, Lena Brooks, a substitute school teacher, vanished after an evening jog. Her shoes were found by the same service road. The police again ruled it an accident. She was labeled emotionally withdrawn after a brief interview with her coworkers. No body was recovered. Over the next decade, 7 more people disappeared, different ages, different professions. But they shared 3 things. They vanished near municipal zones, their cases were closed quickly, and each had recently filed a complaint. 1 man reported unsafe chemical dumping near the forest boundary. Another questioned unexplained budget increases tied to waste contracts. A city clerk requested internal records for off-site storage expenses. Each complaint was logged. Each person disappeared within months. The pattern was never acknowledged publicly, but it was noticed by 1 person, a regional auditor named Michael Kearns. Michael wasn't assigned to Ravenport. He stumbled onto the data while reviewing county-level expense irregularities, waste processing invoices that didn't align with volume metrics, storage transport routes that didn't exist on public maps, environmental compliance reports that were approved without inspection signatures. On paper, nothing was illegal, but together, the numbers told a story. Michael filed a request for physical inspection access. 2 days later, he drove into Ravenport. Michael checked into a roadside motel at 9:47 p.m. He never checked out. His car was discovered 3 miles from town, idling, with the driver door open. Inside the vehicle were printed documents, financial summaries, site coordinates, and 1 handwritten note, "Not landfill, transfer." This time, the case did not close quietly, because Michael worked for the state, and the state sent people. Investigators arrived expecting a missing person case. They found something else. The waste processing facility, listed as a standard transfer station, had expanded underground operations that were not recorded in any state registry. Beneath one of the sealed storage buildings was an access tunnel, not crude, not improvised, engineered, reinforced concrete, ventilation shafts, temperature control. The tunnel led to a network of chambers buried deep beneath the forest boundary. Inside those chambers were sealed containers, industrial-grade barrels, some marked, some unmarked, all chemically shielded. Forensic teams later confirmed the contents. Human remains, not intact bodies, but dissolved biological material consistent with accelerated chemical decomposition. The same compounds listed in the facility's environmental permits. What investigators uncovered was not a serial killer. It was a system. The facility had been operating an illegal disposal process for over 20 years, not for bodies, for industrial byproducts that were too expensive to treat legally. The chemicals contaminated the soil and groundwater. Several employees noticed, some complained, some asked questions, and those people became liabilities. They were not murdered violently. They were processed, quietly, systematically, with paperwork. The town council knew, the police chief knew, the medical examiner knew. They didn't pull triggers, they signed forms, they approved transfers, they closed cases. When arrests began, they did not start at the bottom. They started with records, emails, meeting minutes, internal memos, language that avoided words like death or disposal. Instead, phrases like non-recoverable variance, human-scale contamination, administrative resolution. 16 officials were indicted. The town was placed under federal oversight, and Ravenport disappeared from state promotional materials within a year. But here is what never made the headlines. 3 of the 9 missing individuals were never officially identified among the remains. Their cases remain unresolved, their names still listed as missing. And several tunnel chambers were found empty, despite records showing scheduled transfers. Which leads investigators to one final question. If this system existed for decades, and some chambers were cleared, then where did the rest go? Ravenport still exists. People still live there. The forest has grown back. The service road is paved now, and the waste facility operates under a new name. No one there likes to talk about what happened. They call it a misunderstanding, a failure of oversight, an unfortunate chapter. But the people who vanished were not lost. They were erased, and the system that erased them was never truly dismantled.